Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back. I hope you're doing fantastic out there. If you liked the Olanntern Classic, I think you're really going to like this new edition. This is the Olanntern Classic Mini. So here's a look at the package. You can see that it has a maximum output of 300 lumens, and it also has a maximum runtime of 60 hours. Those are impressive specifications. On the side of the package you see nothing, and then on the back of the package, feel free to pause your screen if you want to read this information. And then right here, this is the specifications of the lantern. And then, of course, the contact information for Olight. Now, this product does have a 2-year warranty. I want to say thank you to Olight for sending this product out for review. When we come here, we open this up. The first thing that we see is a README card. Let's take a look at that README card. So the next thing is we're going to just pull this little tab out. I love the way that they package this stuff. They do such a good job the way they package all this stuff. There's nothing left in the box. This is the lantern itself. I'm guessing that we'll just pull that straight out. But let's look in this box before we get to the lantern itself. I want to see what else is included here. So there is a user manual. And then, of course, we have a USB-C to USB-C charging cable. And this one feels rubbery. It's nice and flexible. And let's see how long that thing is. Yeah, that's pretty long. That's probably 3 feet long, I'm guessing. That's a pretty good size cable there. So here's the user manual of the Olanntern Classic Mini. Right here it talks about the battery level indicator. Right here it breaks down some of the run times and performance, how to charge the unit, some notes there, danger, and then here are some specifications of the lantern. I'll be talking about all that stuff in the video today. There are some warnings, and then there's kind of a product overview, like a breakdown of the lantern. So if you're curious about any part, what it actually is, this breakdown here will tell you everything that you need to know. And then, of course, there's some contents in English right there, how to operate the lantern, and then everything else is in different languages. Okay, let's go ahead and take this out of the package and see what this looks like. I'm very excited, and I want to say thank you to Olight for sending this Olanntern Classic Mini out for review. Wow, that is beautiful. That is a nice looking lantern. Looks like it has the same type of stuff as the regular one, but much more compact, much smaller. Wow. Now, when you first get this, it will be in lockout mode, and you want to make sure that you're going to charge it before you turn it on. I'm noticing on the bottom here, there is a 1/4-20 stainless steel thread. That's nice because you can mount this to a standard tripod. That's very cool. So let's go ahead and turn on the O station, and let's plug in the USB-C, and we'll remove the rubber port out of the way. We'll plug this in and we'll get this thing charging. And what we'll see here, wow, it's already green. So that means that this unit is already charged. It's supposed to show like flashing red, and then when it's green, charging will be complete. So I'm happy to say this thing is already charged. So very cool. We'll disconnect it from the O station. We'll put the flap back in place. And now operating this is extremely simple. We have a dial here. It comes in lockout mode, so to unlock it, you just got to turn this dial twice. I've already done that. So when we turn it on, you can see the orange light, and that's the low setting. That's 5 lumens, and that'll last 60 hours. Gives you 2 meters of throw, and on that setting, you get 2.5 days of runtime. That is crazy. Then, of course, you can go all the way up to the highest portion right before white, and we will have a total of 100 lumens, somewhere around there. That'll last for 6 minutes, gives you 11 meters of throw, and then it'll step down to 57 lumens for an additional 2 hours. Now when we continue and we get into the white light, I feel a slight vibration in the unit. It's got like a little vibrate thing in it. This is 130 lumens for 9 minutes. This will give you 13 meters of throw. Then it steps down to 78 lumens for 3 additional hours. And then if we crank this all the way up to the highest setting, this is 300 lumens. It'll stay there for 18 minutes, giving us 20 meters of throw. Then it steps down to 186 lumens for 300 minutes. That's 5 hours. And then after that 5-hour period of time, it drops down again to 78 lumens for an additional 240 minutes. That's another 4 hours of runtime. So we get 9 hours and 18 minutes of runtime on high out of this Olanntern Mini. That is just fantastic. So you can go turn the dial down anywhere in the spectrum. It's ramping, and then you can choose between the orange light and the white light. I think that's super cool. You can also see that the power level indicator comes on. That tells us the status of the battery. That'll stay on for 5 seconds. So if I turn it off and then I turn it back on, you see that stays for 5 seconds. This will work when you're using the lantern, and it'll also work when you're using this as a power bank. So that indicator is the same for both. Okay, so what's happening here is green is telling us that we're between 30 and 100%. This will drop down to red when we're between 5 and 30%, and then flashing red when we are between 0 and 5%. Now, some of you might be wondering about this. There's like a little carabiner there, and this feels like aluminum or something. It does not feel like plastic. That feels like metal. It's got like a little carabiner, so you can hook it over a ridge line or a tent or something like that. And this thing is a lot smaller than the Olanntern Classic. I mean, you're basically getting the top portion. Take a look at that. That is just nuts. Look at that. That is crazy. You're just getting the top portion. You don't have the magnetic charging like you do on the Olanntern Classic. On the Mini, you don't have that. I like the way this looks though, the brushed bronze aluminum look. This is just fantastic. It looks really nice. Now, you can also see this indicator when you're charging the unit. Like I mentioned earlier, it'll go from green is when you're between 95 and 100%, and then anywhere from 0 to 95% when you're charging, you'll see flashing red. Now, the specs of this thing, when you turn it all the way up, you put out 98 candela. Now, this unit is IPX5 water resistant, so it will be safe in rain. It's not going to hurt it. It is also impact resistant down to 0.8 of a meter, so a little bit less than most of the Olights. It has a 4,500 milliamp hour lithium ion rechargeable battery built inside. Now, the dimensions of this, it's 110 millimeters by 123.5 millimeters. That's 4.33 inches by 4.86 inches. It weighs 415 grams or 14.64 ounces. So what if you're out and you want to use this unit as a power bank to charge your phone? You'll just plug in the USB-C and then get your phone, plug this in, and there you go. Now I'm charging my phone, and I should see the power level indicator. Again, that's the same indicator that we see when we're using the unit, whether it's the lantern portion or the power bank portion. Now, the question out there is, can you do both simultaneously? And it looks like the answer to that is yes. So I'm still charging and I'm also using the light at the same time. That is fantastic. And that thing puts out a lot of light. I really like this Olanntern Classic Mini. Okay, let's take a look at the IPX5 waterproof rating. And I'm just getting it wet as could be. All the different angles, switching through the modes. And as you can see, it does just fine in the rain. It clearly passes the IPX5 waterproof rating with flying colors. That is fantastic. Good job that they did on this one. Now this lantern does have a lockout mode, and what you need to do is you need to turn it on and off twice quickly and listen for the vibration. Hear that vibration? Now you see the red indicator. Now when I turn the switch, this thing is in lockout mode. And then to unlock it, it's the same thing twice. 1, 2. You hear the vibration, it turns green. Now the light is on and it's out of lockout mode. Very simple to do. Now here we are, we're on the lowest setting in the orange light. This is 5 lumens. This will last 60 hours. That's 2.5 days. That is a good amount of light to be getting out of this thing. So that is nice. I can clearly see what I'm looking for over here. Even though the camera might not pick it up, I can see very easily what I'm looking at. It's working very well. And then of course I can turn it up and get more brightness out of it. Hi. And when I get it to the higher part of the spectrum on orange light, I'll get it right before the white light kicks in. That's 100 lumens for 6 minutes, 11 meters of throw, and then it steps down to 57 lumens for 2 hours. That's a lot of light out of that orange light. Hopefully you guys can see that. That's a lot of light. I can easily see everything. I'm very impressed. That looks really good. Now if I go just a little bit further, I will get into the white light portion of the lantern. So let's take a look at that. There is the low white light. That's 130 lumens for 9 minutes, and then it steps down to 78 lumens for 3 hours. On this setting, you get 13 meters of throw. There we go. Let me get back to it. I bumped that switch there. This is the low white light. That's fantastic. I can see even more using the white light than I could using the orange. It does a good job. And then of course, lastly, we can bump this up anywhere within the spectrum. We can ramp it all the way up to the top of the white light. We can get it up to white light high. This is 300 lumens for 18 minutes. And then it steps down to 186 lumens for 300 minutes. That's 5 hours. That's fantastic. And then it steps down a second time to 78 lumens for 240 minutes or 4 hours of runtime. When you see it on the high setting like you see here, that gives you 20 meters of throw. That is just crazy, crazy run times. I'm very impressed with this. 300 lumens. That is fantastic. I mean, this thing's a lot lighter than the original Olanntern Classic too. It's a lot lighter. And I like the difference between having the ability to use the orange light or the white light. I think that's cool. So hopefully you enjoyed those night shots. This thing is really nice. Now folks, I gotta apologize. I made a mistake and I need to correct this. When we look at the warm white light on low, this is not 9 minutes and then 3 hours. This is 9 hours and then it steps down to 78 lumens for an additional 3 hours. So we get 12 hours of runtime on low using the warm white light. Now, if we come to the orange light and we go to high, you have 6 hours at 100 lumens, and then it steps down to 57 lumens for another 2 hours. So you have 8 hours on high on the orange light. So hopefully you understand that correction that I make. My apology for messing that up, but hopefully this clears it up for you guys. So my final thoughts on this Olanntern Classic Mini. I like the construction quality. It's very heavy duty. It feels like the cage around this is a little bit maybe thicker than the Olanntern Classic, but this is nice. This is glass. This is very good construction. Everything seems very solid. I like the unit. Hopefully you enjoyed the night shots that I showed. I want to say thank you for watching. If you guys are interested in any of these Olight products, the link is always in the description box down below. It is an affiliate link, and if you use it, it definitely helps me out. So with all that being said, folks, thank you again so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.